So they just announced the part 2 of the patch notes. I'm not going to go over the useless part. I'm going to go over the whale buffs. Now, this is going to be a very controversial buff. I ever went over how plus 12 is bad for the game, especially for whale, and for most players, because eventually people who whale out are gonna. There's a big gap between a whaled out unit and a non-whaled out. So these are plus 12 buffs. If it was only for standard awakers, people wouldn't care. This is a bad direction for the game taken. That's all I'm gonna say at the beginning of the video. I'll probably rant more towards the end. But I'm going to approach each individual plus 12 buff regardless of strength. So I have 4 categories. So broken is the top tier. It makes this unit broken beyond belief, completely changes the game. A whaled out version and a non-whaled out version plus 12 a non-whaled out is going to be garbage. I'm going to put it on a Google Doc or an Excel, and I will show you it after so we can see how many are broken buffs for each realm. Next category is going to be large buff. Large buff means it's a notable increase in power, meaning that it will change how it's played, but it doesn't completely break the game. Then it's going to be the usable category. Usable, but not worth plus 12, which means it is a buff. I acknowledge it's a buff. It will have an effect. However, it's not worth investing resources to plus 12 a unit just for this buff versus other units. And the last core category is going to be irrelevant / useless, meaning that you're not going to notice the buff. The buff is completely useless in almost every scenario. So let's get started. This is the Chaos Realm buff. Nymph, good buff. I'm going to say this buff is going to be large buff category. So you're not going to see it. I'm going to show you the screen afterwards. So I'm going to put this in the large buff category. The Nymph buff is a 25% damage, poison inflict buff every turn, blah, blah, blah. So this is infinite scaling buff. Why is this a large buff, even though Nymph is pretty low? This will change her plus 12. This will make her like a very strong poison unit. And that's pretty sad because you look on the other side. The Liz version, which is a lot weaker than Nymph. You know how like dog shit Liz is? You think like this is good? It's the same buff Arita got. So in comparison to the Liz buff, Nymph buff is way better. Not to say the Liz buff isn't good. I would say the Liz buff, because since they're both poison unit, I'm jumping back and forth so you can know. The Liz buff is every 3 instances of damage. Her damage in this battle is permanently increased by 15% of her attack. Now, 15% of her attack is based off her attack stat value. So that number is added flat. Arita has the same buff with her glands and whatnot and her Exalt. Now, this, over the course of a battle, you think it scales real well. It doesn't actually scale that well. It's a flat bonus buff. It's not affected by as many multipliers as you would think. It's the same as Arita. If you have a plus 12 Arita already and you use Arita a lot, you know how like slow it scales. So this is pretty bad based on her attack compared to the Nymph buff, which is, and most players are going to have a plus 12 Nymph over that. Next is going to be Alva. Alva buff is going to be in the category of I'm trying to pull up the game right now, but to showcase you guys it, but it's not working. Okay, the game is bugging out. I'm trying to show you guys the defense stat on fucking Alva. So Alva, first command card ever played, gains shield equal to 40% of her defense if you have her plus 12. This is irrelevant. This is going to be irrelevant. It's going to be in the worst category. Why is this the case? Because every one of these buffs assumes you're going to rouse the unit. This is a standard waker. Even if you're playing Alva on your team, you're rarely going to rouse her. And no one really runs Alva DPS. So this is never going to take place if you're playing the game for real. If you're actually playing the game, you will almost never rouse Alva, especially in Arc 2. So this will never take into effect. And even if it takes into effect, this gain shield equal to 40% defense, this thing, 40% of her defense at plus 12 level 70 to 90 is going to be roughly 60, 70 shield. So again, it is not that big of a deal in the end game if you are already having her plus 12. In a scenario where you rouse her and have her plus 12, you probably have other better units. So this is irrelevant buff. No one ever roused Alba. Pandia, same thing. Irrelevant buff. When you're using Pandia, you're never going to rouse her regardless. So in a scenario, you are playing Pandia DPS, for example. Let's say you're playing Pandia DPS. The tax is also awful. When Pandia gains permanent counter, gain strength equals to 3% of the value. Everyone knows that her counter cards are very, very low value in regards to permanent counter. In regards to temporary counter, she gains a lot of temporary counter. So I don't know what they were thinking here, but yeah. This is irrelevant or useless. Now let's go to the next unit, Nautilus. Nautilus, however, I would place a tier higher. This is going to be in... Actually, hold on. Let me add these two to the fucking irrelevant list. Again, I'm making a list nicer. I'm going to show it at the end of the video so we can have a gauge of how each realm is doing. But so far, we have a large buff and 2 irrelevant buffs. Nymph is not a fucking game-changing buff, but it's up there. It's pretty good. So, not. This is going to be a usable buff, but not worth plus 12ing her. This is going to be in the usable category. Because you will probably rouse not in the comps you're running her with. Like in a Blue Will comp, etc., you will rouse her at the end of the fight. And I'll make her fixed counter. However, this is very minuscule because you don't rely on a lot of fixed counter increase. But it's nice. This is nice to have, and you are going to take advantage of it. Next is Karen, Miss Moon Banquet. This is really good. This is under large buff. Why is it under large buff, even though it's Karen? Now, you will rouse Karen in some of the other meme poison comps. This would go into the usable, but not worth plus 12ing. Again, she's good. It's very good. I wouldn't say it's a large buff. It would be a large buff if you rouse her more frequently. And this is easy to trigger compared to everything before because it's just holding cards in your hand. This is very, very easy to trigger. Very good. However, most of you guys are not going to rouse Karen. But in situations where you do, it's nice. Lily buff. Lily buff. This buff, slime conversions. Each attack taken this turn makes the strike to protect, consume, and convert 40% more endurance stack into effect. Stacks up to 5. This is going to be in the usable category, but not worth plus 12. Especially since this is a limited unit. This is a limited unit. So you're never going to plus 12 a pure defensive, like super defensive character like Lily unless you're a whale. So even if, and it's not worth wailing out on her compared to wailing out on any of the other Wakers I'll cover. Now, 24 buff. 24 buff would go under large buff. This is really good. However, it falls short of being broken. We haven't had a broken one there. The broken ones will come later. This will be under large buff. It is not, it's better than usable. This, because why? Because 24 has the highest attack value stat in the game. So most players are going to be incentivized to plus 12 or anyway. Why does this not fit in the broken buff category? Because the effect expires after unleashing Exalt each turn. Sometimes, not all the times, a 24 combo would be exalting and then playing cards. This restricts that. So you can't actually trigger this all the time. It only triggers, because it expires, when you exalt every turn. So this kind of breaks the typical 24 combo. So that's why I won't put it under broken. It's really good though. The effect card is doubled. It's really good. Riker buff. The Riker buff is... I want to put it trash, but I'll put it under usable. It is really, really bad. It is really bad. It makes him RNG. All Riker dice becomes 3 D8 dices. That's 2 more dice rolls. It's, well, not dice rolls. You know what I mean. Like, it becomes a D8 dice. And immediately gains Chaotic Legacy or upgrade at once. It is fine. It is fine. You don't care about this. You don't care about this. It's literally a +2 to the dice roll. It's RNG. Just read it. It's not. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. So it's nice. It's nice. You are gonna rouse Riker. You are gonna rouse Riker, and all you furries probably already have him +12. So let's look at Hamill. At turn start, for every 1 command card with Rondino or Crescendo, referring to his Exalt or his fucking +2/-2 card, Hamill gains 5 Alien Miss. When Hamill unleashes Exalt, for every 2 command card with Rondino or Crescendo, deal +1 hit. This is going to go under large buff. Why? Everyone is going to rouse Hamill. You will rouse Hamill. So this effect is always going to be under effect. It's not broken unless you're the one Hamill whale that does fucking DPS Hamill. Why is it broken? This. Well, not broken, no, very strong. The 5 Alien Miss gain, this Alien Miss charge solves some of his issues with exalting more often, and it undeniably makes a +12 Hamill really strong. This could be a reason to, do that. Now, Tawil. What is Tawil? Tawil is going to be the first unit that goes under broken. Because this effect, you are always going to rouse Tawil. So it clears the category. You are almost always, actually, you're always going to rouse Tawil in any fight. She's one of the best rouses in the game. Just getting that S key card back and getting the Esther key flare. In addition, the 15% final damage buff to all Awakers cards, really good. And the next effect, the card takes effect 1 additional time, the next Awaker card. So you can combo this with her for a triple effect with her Exalt. You can combo this. So this is really good. Really good. So let's go over G-Doll. G-Doll is going under... I was debating whether it's going to go under fucking usable or large buff. It's not a fucking broken buff. But if I'm being honest, it goes under usable, not worth +12. Even though it's very good at damage amplification and illusions end buff, is very good for G-Doll. Like, it charges after you fucking get finale stacks and, infinite scaling on your team's damage amp flares. This sounds insane. You have to +12 G-Doll. It's not worth the investment still. The stat she gains per level is minuscule. And by the time the damage amp reaches the point that matters, the finale stacks, all that shit, you already won the fight. You already won the fight, let's be honest. Everyone plays G-Doll, knows how strong she is. It's good. It's good. It's going under usable. It's good as a buff, period. However, there's no boss fight that you would need this. It just makes that strong team stronger. It's not worth +12 here. Now, Calf. Calf is going to be under broken buff. This is insane, along with Tawil. This is quite strong. Her and Tawil are probably the 2 strongest in the chaos category of broken +12 wailed out buffs. Again, I disagree with +12 buffs as much as you guys, but I'm just stating the facts here. Because the final damage and strength effect for each stack of Fiemma +30%. Yeah, just read it, guys. Final damage, strength effect multiplier for each stack, 30%. Come on. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out why it's broken. Now, let's look at Manchette. It's a +12 buff. Is it a good +12 buff? Mediocre, bad, blah, blah, blah. So, when played, you can't see it's cut off right now, but I'll just read it out. When played, immediately generate 2 temporary mortal blast card with 0 arithmetic cost. Monchet's talent, dramatic encounter, trigger limit per turn increases to 5. Now, this is going under... Where is it going under, Flares? Where is it going under, Flares? It's going under usable. Usable or large buff. I was debating. So we don't have a lot of large buff. Let's put it under large buff. It's borderline between the two. It is good. It is a large buff. It's not broken. It's not broken. Why? Because the only permanent buff in this text is the bottom version, which is dramatic encounter, trigger limit per turn increases to 5. From the 4 trigger. So that's one additional trigger. That's the only permanent buff. The immediately generate 2 temporary mortal blast cards with 0 arithmetic cost does make insane bursts when you rouse her. However, the situation is her rouse card costs 2 mana. So even though you get 2 temporary mortal blast cards back, it's still a -2 mana for that turn. It's not a permanent, mortal blast cards to your deck. It doesn't do anything permanent buff besides dramatic encounter. And in addition, the dramatic encounter buff increases to 5, so that means you have to play 10 strike a turn to trigger it. And everyone knows in Arc 2, after 10 cards a turn, you get Arithmetical Harmony. After you get Arithmetical Harmony, every card spends more. So you literally cannot play anything but strikes to get the full trigger, and it's quite hard to do. So again, this is the argument for why I would put in usable, but I'm going to be generous and put it in large. But yeah. So let's go over the blue buffs. So the blue buffs, Sangha. Sangha final damage 10%. That's good. For each tentacle damage, permanent tentacle. Sangha shield generation and final damage plus 3%. This is a decent buff. I would say this is a decent buff. However, would you plus 12 her just for this buff? No. This is going under the usable, but not worth plus 12ing. Is usable, not worth plus 12ing. Now next, fucking Solis. Rouse power of blessing enhance. When you trigger the death, immediately gain temporary tentacle damage equal to 150% of Solis' attack. This effect doubles in boss battle. Where does this go, Flares? Fucking garbage. Holy shit, this is garbage. This is irrelevant. Unlike Sangha, you are never, ever, ever going to arouse Solis. In any scenario, you arouse your DPS, your tank, everyone else. Your carry. She's probably going to be like a 3rd or 4th unit you rouse on your team. You are never going to see this. And if you rouse her and trigger this effect, immediately gain temporary tentacle damage equal to 100%, 150% of Solis' attack. I'm going to list what is fucking garbage about this. Her attack value stat is low as fuck. So look at it in the game. This is temporary tentacle damage. And this only triggers when you die for the next turn. So that means your burst turn has to come after the boss, quote unquote, kills you. Quote unquote, kills you. Hope you had your burst turn right after that. And it's only temporary tentacle damage. And it's such a small buff from her attack. And remember, guys, her Exalt only triggers once every 6 turns if you have the required Enlighten. So if you don't have your burst turn ready, wait 6 turns, get ready to die again for this buff. This is fucking garbage. This is unusable, irrelevant, pretend it does not exist. I don't know what they were thinking on some of these buffs. I don't know what the developers were thinking, just like the Aegis buff. Pharaohs. This is also garbage. 1, you are almost never going to rouse Pharaohs. In any meta team, you are not going to rouse Pharaohs. That's just a fact of it. That's just a fact of it. Her rouse is pretty bad, and you want to rouse other units. You can't rouse everyone all the time, dude. Next, when Pharaohs plays a card, tentacles inflict poison equal to 3% of tentacle damage generated this turn up to 3 times. There are better poison units that can do this a lot easier than Pharaohs. No. This is bad. This is bad. Caucus. On a Blue Bull team, let's say on a Blue Bull team, it would go under large buff. Because unlike the previous 3 units, most of you guys will want to plus 12 Caucus just for his stats and his high stat scaling for your HP values and whatnot. Is this under broken? No, it's not even close. There's some way more broken things. This is going under large buff. Most of you guys will have him plus 12. And on a real Blue Bull comp, on a Caucus comp, you will rouse him. Especially nowadays when his rouse is pretty good. Why is this good? This is insane. After Caucus plays a card, any card, 1 technical performance and attack and gains counter equal to 50% of damage dealt. This would make a plus 12 Caucus even strong. I would say one of the strongest counter units. He's already one of the strongest counter units in the game, especially when he crit and Twill wants to copy his cards. You don't even need to play Shatter, just play defensive cards, and this will generate dividends and counter. This will make a G Murphy Caucus counter team viable. This is insane. I cannot stress enough how strong this is, because this is a gain counter equal to damage card. Gain counter equal damage. Anytime there's an effect that's gain X equal to damage, it's insane. And this is every time he plays a card. Remember, compared to everything else, I don't know who's on their fucking balancing team. Because you guys, you're glazing Caucus too hard. Yeah, you're fucking retarded. You're glazing, just look at any other effect in the game that has this fucking thing. After play a card, every card, it's not a limit. You look at any other buff like this, 1 additional time, the first card played every turn, blah, 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 blah. Every other buff, when it gives this buff, it says that for the first time each turn, for 1 time each turn, for, X time. This is just every time he plays a card. That's the effect. And this effect is really good. So, yeah, large buff, not broken. Now, Goliath. How is Goliath? This buff goes under irrelevant. Most of you guys don't even want his cards right now. I know, I coach most of you guys. This is irrelevant. It's strong, yeah, it's strong. You are hardly going to rouse Goliath unless it's a fucking G Murphy team. And if you rouse him in a G Murphy team, you know that you don't want his cards in your hand so you can exalt on G Murphy and get more for Waltzes. You don't have the hand space, motherfucker. You're not gonna fucking use Goliath's card for fucking damage? What are you, fucking stupid? No. You're playing G Murphy cards. So yeah, this is really bad. You're never going to use this effect. Again, it's good if you're a Goliath whale, if you love Goliath, if you're gay. If you're gay for Goliath, this will be strong for you. For most normal people. For most normal people like me, who just uses Goliath as a buffer, you are never going to rouse him for this, dude. Now next, Tulu. I was debating between irrelevant or usable. We have so many irrelevants. This is, for lack of better words, usable. It's good. It's pretty bad. It teeters the line between usable and irrelevant. Because remember, his Lemurian buff is already 50% damage increase for Tentacle. So his Lemurian buff is already stronger than this. This you have to, every time he exalts, all enemies take plus 10% Tentacle damage, which I assume is permanent. So you exalt 5 times, you get the permanent. You are never going to exalt 5 times in a boss fight when you're using Tulu with G Murphy. Even Tulu in general, you're never going to exalt 5 times in a boss fight. You're never going to get that 50%. At most, you'll exalt twice. At most, you'll exalt twice a boss battle. So this is a 20% Tentacle damage increase. It's pretty small, it's usable, and you're rarely going to rouse him compared to your other carries. It's going under usable. So, Murphy's buff, however, is, I'm determining whether it's a broken buff or a large buff. This is insane. I'm going to go under a large buff. I don't want to put too many broken because it'll be unfair to the actual broken characters. So, large buff, regular Murphy. Why? Just read it. X times 2 hit for the Vortex reversal, good. But this, And you don't need to do anything. Just rouse her and you have this effect. Every time you play her Divine Maiden, twice the mana. Every time you fucking play Vortex, twice the hits. This is quite good for plus 12. So, Miriam. Every 2 Sacrament cards flipped, place 1 Divine Realm Illusions in hand. Now, I'm going to assume it's her 9 Rouse effect. I want to put it under large buff. This is insane. Borderline almost broken. As her fucking, her fucking gimmick cards after you fully rouse her is probably one of the strongest rouse effects in the game. It's insane. It's 25 Alien Miss and an additional special effect. And all of them are good. And this effect is easy trigger every 2 Sacrament cards flip. This is so good. This is so good. The only reason it's not broken is because it is a little bit of RNG what cards you get, and some cards are better than others. However, I would almost put it under broken. So, Corporal effect. Where would this go? That's right. Irrelevant. You're rarely going to rouse fucking Corporal. And it's not even nice if you get this. Pilot effects are so fucking small. They can make this 100% pilot effect, and you would still not put her on your team over a G Murphy. Because G Murphy's that broken. She generates more tangle damage. You don't care about the 1 additional pilots, dude. This effect, you are rarely going to rouse her. This effect is so fucking bad, dude. It's not worth plus 12ing her. What the fuck are you doing? Next, G Murphy. This is going to be our first broken from blue. Because, unequivocally speaking, if you actually play the game, if you actually know how to play G Murphy, you would know from just reading the first line, it's broken. I don't know why they keep buffing the strongest unit in the game that can cheese every boss with her fucking sacrifice mechanics. Because this fixes everyone's fucking dumbass issues with her, people who don't know how to play her. If you wail her out, you don't need to think anymore. Why? The lifesteal effect. You don't have to wait 5 turns anymore. And my biggest complaint about having to wait 5 turns because the boss dies too soon. You don't have to wait 5 turns anymore to get the full potential. 2 stacks of lifesteal whenever you fucking rouse her instantly. Hello? If Insurging Tide Stance gain an additional stack of lifesteal, you can have everyone burst on turn 2 or 3 with G Murphy anyway. And this will just make the boss die easier. This is insane. This fixes every complaint people who don't know how to play her has. And it just buffs her beyond the pale. I disagree with this. This buff is too strong. Just don't buff her. What are you doing? She already breaks the game. Why even make content when you have this character? If I were to redo the tier list, she would be the only unit in S tier. So next. Fucking Vortex. As you see in my video, E0 Vortex is just as fine as plus 12 Vortex. Maybe this will change. After Pursuit, the next Exalt technical damage to 200%. This is going to be under Irrelevant. It's still not worth plus 12ing her. It's good. Don't get me wrong. Irrelevant. You're not gonna fucking care about rousing her. You just use her of her effect. She scales just fine E0. Why would you fucking invest her plus 12? Irrelevant. Now let's go to Carol Realm. Lay. This is going under, you guessed it, Irrelevant. This is irrelevant compared to other plus 12 buffs. It's not going to change how you play it, if you have a plus 12. After Lay plays a card, her next Exalt is enhanced. Gain temporary strength equals 10% of permanent strength. So, best case scenario. Best case scenario. You have 1,000 strength. You get this maxed out. You get 500 temporary strength. 50% bonus. So it's a 50% bonus. Huge. You still wouldn't plus 12 away. Her stats are so fucking dog shit. You would put any other support on your team. Why would you plus 12 away? Is this usable? Yeah. It's still doesn't matter because if you have 1,000 permanent strength in that scenario I just cooked up for you, where you have 1,000 strength, you wouldn't need that 500 extra. I'm sorry. That's just how it works. So let's go next. Faint. Feint, very good for G-Doll team survival. So when played, immediately and permanently steal strength, equal to 20% of attack from all enemies. Where would this go, Flares? That's right, broken. This is probably one of the strongest effects of the plus 12, because permanent strength down is insane. I don't need to go any further on this. This permanent strength down is insane. Broken. So, Hellet. Upon playing, get buff her damage cards. So this, where does the Hellet buff go? That's right. That's right. Irrelevant. You're not playing Hellet DPS. She's just exists to buff your Gellet or your Manchette or your other DPS. She's an Exalt bot. And that's what she's good for. She exalts, she buffs your team. You don't play her as the DPS. You know how weak her fucking strike cards are. It's pretty bad. And you're not gonna rouse her. You're not gonna rouse her. Oh, what team are gonna rouse her in? Yeah, you're gonna rouse fucking your Gellet and your dice you're putting on that team. You're gonna rouse your Manchette only, and you're gonna use Posse instead of rousing Hellet. And you're not gonna plus 12 her. It is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Next, Agrippa. Agrippa. Each time Agrippa inflicts or trigger poison, shield generation plus 50%. This effect stacks up to 5. This is broken. This is broken. I don't. It would be so. I don't even know if I bother explaining this, dude. I don't even know if I bother explaining this, dude. I don't even know if I have to bother explaining how this is broken. I don't understand what they were thinking. Like, look at this. 50% attacked up to 5 times. Just look at it. Just look at a number. Just look at the effect. Just think of the possibilities in other comps, like the caster or Agrippa comp. Just think of the possibilities. Just think of, like, and you don't have to take my word for it, dude. Just look at this. Just look at this. Each permanent tentacle saving us shield generation by 3%. And let's go back to fucking Agrippa. 50% stacks up to 5 times. I think it has to be a typo, dude. It has to be a typo. I'm reading it wrong, dude. I had to be reading it wrong, dude. It has to be something wrong. I'm not gonna go over it. It's like the fucking ZZN buff all over again. I'm not gonna go over it. It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. Now next, fucking Uvash. This is gonna go under a large buff, maybe broken. I have to test them out. Because final damage is one of the best damage multipliers you can have in the game. It's going to be a large buff for Uvash. Might even push him to broken. It might push him up to A tier on my tier list. I'm going to test him after I test fucking the Spider Girl Arachne. I'm going to see if it pushes him up to A tier. But this is very, very good. This is 50% damage increase, basically. Because you're always going to be low HP when playing it. So, Sorrel. This will not change her on my tier list regardless, because as I said in my video, those of you guys who watch my content know that this is going to be unusable. I'm using Sorrel to base every unit in the game off of. She's the baseline C tier unit, regardless of whether she gets buff. If she gets buff beyond the pale, that means I'm going to lower units below her. Unless, like, she's stronger than every other unit, then I pick another C tier. Right now, this will not change how I place her on my tier list. Now, is this a strong buff for her? 15 times 2, 30% damage buff. Medium buff. Medium buff doesn't really change her that much. Usable, not worth the plus 12. So, Salvador. Salvador is the safest comp and the most boring comp, depending on who you ask. You've seen like my million Salvador videos. So this speeds him up. This speeds him up. That's all it does. Speeds him up, kills faster. It does not buff his power rating. So this is not a large buff in my mind. It's a usable buff. It's a usable buff. It just prevents you from killing yourself while playing a South DPS. This just makes you kill the enemy on turn 7 instead of turn 500. Because you won't get to turn 500. This just speeds them up. You are going to win anyway. You will probably kill any boss with a Salvador without plus 12ing him anyway. Does not change anything. It just means that you don't spend 10 hours. You only spend 2 hours. That's the nature of this buff. So, Dies buff. Dies buff is going to easily go under Broken. It's one additional card. This is a thing to plus 12 of dies. So, Weaver, if you're watching this video, the guy that I coached recently, you didn't make a mistake when you plus 12 dies. You can use it. So, this just makes a Broken unit even more stronger because her dies XL generates an additional copy. This is Broken. She becomes the strongest support to actually the strongest support. No question in the game. So, yeah, the strongest support in the game just cements your place as the strongest support in the game. Broken buff. So, let's go over to Gellet. After Gellet unleashes XL, each command card gains 35 stacks of temporary enhance. Remove at turn, end, or after being played. Each stack increases the card's final damage, strength, tentacle damage generation, blah, 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 by 2%. Final shield healing, strength down by 1%. So, I don't know why they would do this, but this is a strong buff for her. Large buff. Is it broken? No. It is very strong. Well, maybe we'll play it broken. We need a broken buff. This is actually very good. She's still a strong unit. Yeah, I'll place it under Broken. It's a very, very big buff. I'm never gonna plus 12 her because I don't need to. If I have extra pools, maybe I will, but right now I don't have any incentive to plus 12 her. So Dorazine would go under. You know how much I meme on Dorazine? I don't know what they were fucking thinking about this buff. This second buff is great. Overflow damage is what we've been asking since he launched. I don't know why they didn't release with this. This is great. It doesn't fix his issues on some bosses, by the way. It doesn't fix his issues on some bosses because bosses like Bastaw, which summons the mobs that are unkillable mobs, this will not take into effect because they don't count as being killed. So this does not fix his core issue when facing unkillable mobs, but it does fix the issue of a weak mob that you overkill. It does fix that issue, so it goes under large buff. This goes under large buff. It does not fix most of his issues, though. Because his issues on mobs that are invincible. And this effect should be of the enemy's max HP. I read this again. Unless it's a mistranslation, it says immediately deal fixed damage equal to 20% of current HP. So based on my reading of this is your HP. Why would they do this? It makes me think that it's 20% of all enemies' HP. It has to be. Because the way it's read, they have to be retarded. They have to be legit retarded. 20% of your current HP. 20% of your current HP. Your current HP is going to be like 2,000. 20% of 2,000 is 400 damage. 20% of 2,000 is 400, guys. 20% of 2,000 is 400 damage. You have a plus 12 Dorsey. This has to be 20% of enemies' HP. Alright? It can't be 20% of your HP. It has to be a mistranslation. It has to be equal to 20% of the current HP of all enemies, not to all enemies. This word has to be of. It has to be of, guys. It can't be 2, right? It can't be 400 damage. We'll see when the patch hits. We'll see when the patch hits. Next is Pikmin. The duration of Painted Golden Relic, created by Lifeline Rendition, increases by 1 turn to 2 turns. Now, where does this fall on the list? Duration of Painted Golden Relics. Increase from 1 turn to 2 turns. So, this would go under Let me think. I'm thinking large buff or broken. It's really strong. It's really strong. I'll go under large buff. It's very strong. It's not a reason to plus 12 them. It's not a good enough reason to plus 12 them, but I can't admit it's really strong. But it's not strong enough to plus 12 them. So Zoo. It's going to be cut off. I'm too lazy to fix it. Zoo to spellbound count. Increase to 50-15. First command card Zoo plays each turn, takes effect one additional time. This is going to be usable, not worth plus 12ing. It's going to be usable, not worth plus 12ing. It's a buff, but again, you don't need it. You don't care. It's whatever. So let's go to Ultra. Ultra probably gets the shorter end of the stick. It's all pretty bad. It's not just my bias. You just fucking read it. Most of them are going to be pretty bad. I read over it. I can't even believe my eyes. Some of these units need like massive buffs, and they just left it. And it's units that already are strong. They buffed them even more. I'm going to show you an example. Cassia and Jenkins. Cassia is still only used on a Discord comp, but right now, this buffs fucking Strike. Who fucking plays Cassia in a fucking Strike team nowadays? No one. You're playing her in a discard team. When any Awaker plays a Strike, opening act is trigger gaining temporary strength. Let me tell you the truth. Do you play Strikes on a discard team? No, you're playing all the fucking skill cards, dude. So on her meta team, this is, and you have to rouse her. You're not going to rouse Cassia on a discard team. You're not going to rouse Cassia on a Strike team. It is fucking useless. Oh, what is wrong with this buff? Jenkins, and I have plus 12 Cassia just for the stats, but Jenkins is really strong. This just makes Jenkins strong. This is insane. 2x crit damage of her rouse effect. 2x crit damage of her rouse effect. Where is this going? That's right. Broken. It just makes a strong unit even stronger. I don't know what's wrong with their balancing team. I don't understand what's wrong with the balancing team. They're buffing strong units like G Murphy beyond the pale, and they're giving like fucking useless buffs to like units which needs the most. Like needs it the most. Like Liz, why do they give such a strong buff to Nymph compared to Liz when Liz needs it way more? And where does Liz put it? This is usable, not worth plus 12. Because already Nymph overshadows her in most real poison comps. And like all the current meta poison units generate way more poison than Liz. Liz is just a stopgap. She's fucking useless. And this is a worse buff than the Nymph buff. I don't understand why they give the stronger buff to the stronger unit and the weaker buff to the weaker unit. So, like, look at Tinked. Tinked is also pretty bad. You're never going to rouse her. And the effect they decide to give to her is, first time Tink plays a skill each turn, she generates one temporary strike card with 0 arithmetic cost. You're not using fucking Tink in a Manchette team. You're not using Tink in a Strike team. If you're going to use Tink, you wouldn't use Tink to Eye, actually. But a free Tink Strike card? Why not make the rouse make her fucking 3-cost card cheaper? Oh, what is wrong with this buff? And look at Winkle. Winkle's one of the best Alienist battery units in the game. Very high on most real tier lists. She gets a real buff. When played, another Awaker with the lowest Alienist gains 50 Alienist. You can play this at the end of turn. This is a large buff. This is insane. Because when you're stalling on a mob fight, you're gonna rouse her just to get her Alienist and another unit's Alienist. See where I'm going here? This buff is insane for Winkle. What are they thinking? And look at Daff. When played, the rouse, gain 1 Skull Reaver with 0 Rift and place it in Ultra Space. Where does this go, Flares? Usable, not worth plus 12. It is whatever. You don't care about that much. So Wanda, which arguably needs the biggest buff out of any Ultra Limited. Wanda, she needs everything. After Wanda unleashes Exo, Her next 2 command cards take effect 1 additional time. Two times 0 is still 0, guys. You know how weak her command cards are. Why not have this buffed command cards? 2 times 500 counter is going to be 1,000 counter. Caucus can do that better. With his buff, in this buff, he just got buffed even stronger than fucking Wanda. What is going on here? Fucking Horla. Rao's Prelude verse is enhanced. After triggering Annihilation, her next command card played this turn will leap. This is strong. This is a strong buff. Because sometimes you will rouse Horla if you're playing her, seriously. You will rouse Horla. This is a large buff. Very large buff. If you decide to not heed my advice and not keep her E0, it's good enough to consider plus 12 in here. Why? Because most of Ultra is just annihilating every turn. This allows you to shuffle between her emotions pretty good. This is pretty strong if you're playing her that way. Most players won't play her that way, but it's strong. Look at Clem. Fucking dog shit. Dirty bug unit. Now, I won't go over. Fucking Caster. Caster, this is broken. I don't know what they're thinking, dude. I have no idea what they're thinking. I have no idea what the dev team's thinking. This just buffs the fucking corrosion effect by 500%. This first effect is whatever AoE. It buffs the Jenkins. It buffs the Jenkins. It actually nerfs Pollux. It actually makes the Jenkins better. Because his Get 'em Browns, or her Get 'em Browns, I keep forgetting gender. If she has more AoE, she can trigger this a lot easier than Pollux. And she's a standard unit. I don't know what they're thinking, dude. Corrosion and removal damage. Yeah, this is just insane. What are they thinking? Why are they buffing strong units and leaving like weaker units with like these useless ass buffs? So Pollux. Path of blah 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 blah. Make Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart is played and shuffled. May that card cause 0 rift. And additional inflict 100% damage as bleed this turn. This will go under usable buff. Not worth plus 12ing. I don't recommend him overall. He demands too much. And if you were wailing on him, Caster just got a bigger buff than him. Caster just got a bigger buff than him. Solves the AoE issue. Everything. I don't understand why they buff Caster, dude. And this only affects Sacred Heart cards. It doesn't affect his real AoE card or whatnot. It just buffs his really strong single damage effect, which is not what he needs to get looked at. It's everything about his kit, how much investment he needs, and his scaling issues. So this does not really solve anything. I don't understand why they do this. It is fucking insane to me. And that concludes the video.